I was hoping maybe this group could help me out a little bit. No doubt there's black or beta flight experts on here. I had two instances now with my quad on beta flight that it did a moonshot, and it was basically went to take off. It did full throttle. I was lucky in both cases, and even turning off my transmitter um, to trigger failsafe, which I have working, and or disarming. So I first disarmed as soon as it happened, and then it kept going. And then turned off my transmitter, still kept going. Both cases I was lucky so far. One case it skimmed across the ground because it had enough forward pitch and it hit the sandbox. Second case it went way up, had a little bit of forward pitch and it hit a tree. I have like 100-foot trees behind my house, so I got really lucky there because it would have just kept going until the battery died, I guess. So I'm scared. It hasn't happened since. I've flown it plenty of times, and you can see, lucky enough, I got a beta or a black box of it when it last occurred. I was on beta flight 3.1.5, and below is a link to this black box file, so you can check it out. I'm not going to pan through all that. You can do that. The one thing I'm thinking it has to do with noise. In both situations, I had the quad taking off from my patio, which obviously is it's concrete, and the only thing I can think that maybe is the issue is you can see this frequency. So in the black box, I didn't have debug for the notch filter on at the time. I didn't know about that stuff. But if I click on the motors, those seem to be close to what the debug notch vibration data shows. But if you can see on here, if I click on specific motors, which I don't fully understand what this is telling me when I click on the different motors, that if I click on motor 1, it's showing a lot of noise down here, and that's not normal. The quad doesn't normally do that. So usually I'm getting motor noise up here. It's right below the notch filter, which I'm trying to figure out too. As a side, should I be moving this notch filter down? Usually my motor noise is around 150, so it's right at this lower limit. So I've been moving this notch filter down to cover from, I guess, 100 to 200, something like that, or 100 to 300, because that's where my noise is occurring. So that's a side. So what I did here is, if I did my ins and my outs, so you can kind of see the isolated noise. If I go all the way to the end, you can see there's a lot more noise. But keeping in mind, this is where it's doing the full throttle punch. So it goes time sequence wise here. It goes, 5 seconds. And then I'm moving the throttle up and down a little bit, and I don't see the quad really responding, and then it just punched it after 5 seconds, and you can see the motors spin up. My quad is a little tail heavy, so these ones in the back spin a little higher, and it just floors it. Now, what I'm a little confused about is, RC command, it looks like it's receiving that command, but I did not give it that command. I don't know what's going on there. And it just pegs it right around here is where it hits the tree. So from here back, it's, free fall tumbling and, landed upside down, luckily. And, I, just kept going, as I ran it, disarmed. Within this range, I disarmed it and turned off the controller after I disarmed it, and that didn't do anything to initiate failsafe. So I'm assuming from this point back, I don't want to look at that noise because there's, an impact there and all that data. So just doing the ins and outs on the front end of it, you can see I still have that noise. I don't know why. The only thing I can think is because it was on the patio. So it was getting the vibration. It was taking off slow and it was tapping the patio and it was getting that vibration. That, what I'm kind of asking is, did that mess up the D term and make it freak out? I've been very hesitant since this happened. I've flown it a couple times. The quad wasn't really damaged, and I've made sure to take it off from the grass. So looking for some advice to decrypt this. Obviously, I don't want to just keep ignoring this because, next time I might not be so lucky and I'll lose my quad because it will do a moonshot for 4 or 5 minutes, which I would lose visual range of sight of that for 4 or 5 minutes. Any help is greatly appreciated, and any suggestions. Like I said, normally I get normal low amplitude frequency. Here, I can go and show you what I normally get. So this is the normal noise I get on that quad. So here you can see I just took off and just kind of hovered. That's, just a nice hover. And you can see the normal noise I'm getting now. Again, I don't have the notch filter for the notch debug analytics turned on here. And you can see some of the noise I'm getting and where that's at. Should I be moving this D term down, or this notch filter down, to cover this range here? It's pretty low noise, it seems like, compared to others. And then honestly, I did turn on the notch last night, or the debug, and it almost looks like, and I soft mounted my motors since this. So I soft mounted my motors, and just clicking on the apples to apples with my soft mount, it looks like the frequency has moved up, but the amplitude's more. Now this is, apples to apples, still clicking on these motors. And here you can see I just had I just triggered black box mid-flight on this one. And then if I click on the notch debug, you can see the frequency doesn't change, the amplitude does a little bit though. So that was also making me wonder, like, did soft mounting it make it worse? Did I mess up soft mounting? I put a little piece of, it's the stuff you can get for the bottom of area rugs to make them stick to the hardwood. So I put a little piece of that in and then snugged the screws. I didn't tighten them and crank them down, but I snugged them and then obviously I had the Loctite on it. Any advice is appreciated, trying to, find my way through the forest on this stuff. Thanks.